The Mississippi Gulf Coast is an amazing place. Business is booming here, and life is good. People say Elvis used to hang out here, and it's true. So did Al Capone.
It's the legend of the Biloxi Mafia, and I don't know if that's true, but there is a place out at Cat Island called Smuggler's Cove where rum runners used to offload their bootleg alcohol into skiffs and smuggle it to shore. You get to know the people here, and you're going to hear a lot of unbelievable stories. This place has a rich history.
We call it the Secret Coast because of the 26 miles of beautiful white sand beaches and the picturesque islands that dot the horizon. You can visit those islands and they all have a story of their own.
People who live all over the world quietly choose to make this place their home. I'm one of them, and I want to help build a community of entrepreneurs like me who are doing what they love. That's what the show's all about. So come on in and watch Sprout Central, the happiest show on TV.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Sprout Central, the happiest show on TV. We have a really important show for you today. The Congress has enacted the CARES Act, and we're able to help you now with the Paycheck Protection Program, the Economic Impact Development Loan, and other things about the CARES Act. So we're going to talk to you about that and how it can help you. Everyone should apply. Also, we have a really interesting guest, an innovative entrepreneur on the show, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, we're going to talk about what we did last week. Last week, well, we had a rerun last week. We reran the first episode of Sprout Central for the season with Mark and Madison Talley from Tall Architecture, the architect here in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, Tall Architecture, so if you need an architect. But the week before that, we inspired some people to get into podcasting. We had Mitchell Gruich on the show from Red Radio Productions. And he was really inspiring. He was a great guest, and we're going to try to get him to come be our guest co-host from time to time whenever corporate calls me away or things like that. And we've gotten a lot of great feedback from that show. Mitchell, he not only does he host the Red Radio Productions, which is now doing 2 podcasts a month instead of 1. They've upped their production schedule. But he also is the host of the Croncast podcast. And so a lot of people are writing in, they want to be podcasters, and we want to help you. Call us. Okay, but today on the show we have the founder of the French Hermit Oyster Company on the show. Do you love oysters? If you do, call your friends and neighbors and tell them to watch this show. Everybody loves oysters. We have Mike Arguelles on the show, and he's founded an aquaculture business called French Hermit Oyster Company. So stick around. We'll be right back after this message.
Here at Furniture Galore Mall, we are dropping prices at the people's elbow.
Bunk beds that'll make you feel like you're on the top rope. Don't jump though.
Dine sets to throw your opponent through.
Or just eat off of. Memory foam and latex mattresses, softer than a cactus clothesline.
We deliver from our ring to your stadium. Layaway and financing available.
New shipments arriving daily. Ain't nothing like it on the coast.
Tell them Lois Block Lexi and Crane Cake Nick sent ya.
Okay, we're back, and we're talking about the CARES Act and Paycheck Protection and Help for Business. And as always, Mr. 100%'s here, Connor Snyder. Connor, and welcome to the show.
Dennis, as always, I'm great to be here.
You know what, you've really come through this season, and with Joey out starting businesses and doing stuff, we're going to have to talk to corporate about getting you a promotion. You've been doing some, you brought some other people to the table too. We now have a staff for Sprout Central crew.
Are you sure they're going to allow that with me chewing gum on the show?
I did get a call about that, and I didn't tell the folks at home about it, but I almost got suspended from the show for a day, for an episode, because, they say, the buck stops here, right?
Yep.
The guy in charge is the one who's responsible, no matter what. So they're like, Dennis, why did you let Connor chew gum on the show? And I was like, I didn't see that. I didn't even notice that. So anyway, they went with a stern warning.
Gotcha.
But no gum on television, folks. If you come on the show, there's no gum on TV. Sorry. Okay, so what's going on, Connor?
Well, we're going to talk about the CARES Act and the Paycheck Protection Loans.
Right.
So we're going to start with the Paycheck Protection Loan. So who is able to be qualified for that?
It's a great question, Connor. You know, when it first came out, we were limited to certain types of businesses. You had to have your EIN number and be an LLC or a corporation and things like that. So a lot of people during the first round of that weren't able to take advantage of it who are able to take advantage of it now.
So why is that?
Well, they changed the law because a lot of people were complaining, like your Uber drivers, your Lyft drivers, your gig workers, the 1099 employees, those types of people, you know, maybe they're cutting grass or they're cleaning houses that can't go work either.
Yeah.
Well, their pay's cut off too, so they came up with a way to let those people get involved in the Paycheck Protection Program. So everybody should apply, and you can apply by Sprout's doing the Paycheck Protection Loan, so they can call us or write us, and we'll help them with that.
And there was this other unfamiliar loan that you were speaking about, the SBA loan. Well, so how does that work? Tell me about that.
And as part of the CARES Act, this is important. If you own a business, if you currently have an SBA loan, or you want to start a business and you're applying for an SBA loan, the SBA is now going to make your first 8 payments.
First 8 payments?
First 8 payments. So let's just say, you know, kind of an average, people, you know, maybe borrow $500,000 or $1 million to start a business.
Yep. Maybe
you're going to build a building and start a shop, whatever you're doing. You know, SBA helps owner-occupied businesses. So if you own a business, you're very likely qualified to get an SBA loan. Well, now they're going to be paying off the first 8 payments. So that could be, you know, $80,000 for, you know, $1 million loan that
absolutely
is given to these businesses to help them start a business, because we need more entrepreneurs to start more businesses.
And that 8 months gives you a lot of time to put yourself in a position to be able to pay that loan back. If you don't have to pay for 8 months, that's 8 months of growth before you even consider paying it back.
It's huge.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're thinking about starting a business, now is the time. And Sprout does the SBA loan, so call Sprout and go, hey, you know, we want to start a business. What do we do? And we'll walk you through it. As you well know, we'll take them step by step through the entire process. But that 8 months of payment forgiveness is huge. Just, I've got a client right now that was kind of on the edge. It was like, well, we're really close, but we have to do this, that, and the other, trying to borrow about $1 million to start a new business in Gulfport. You know what client I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We're going to have them on the show, so keep that as a surprise. But anyway, it was really on the edge, and then Friday, the underwriter called me and said, hey, Dennis, you know, this client you're working with, they're good to go now because of the CARES Act. We're going to make their first 8 payments for them, or the SBA is, so just tell them let's move it forward. Go ahead and put in the offer and let's get this one going.
Hold up there. You didn't just say that they wanted $1 million loan and then the first 8 payments are made for them?
Right.
Even on $1 million?
Even on $1 million. So, you know, let's just say it's $9,000 for 8. That's what, 50. You're the mathematician in the group. That's a lot of money. It's over $50,000, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're helping people with that, and we want you to call in on economic development impact loans, or.
So tell me about the economic development loans that you were talking about.
Right.
Is that more similar to the Paycheck Protection loans, or is that more similar to the SBA loans for businesses?
Okay, so it's more similar to the SBA loan, and we're going to talk a lot more about it, but I think we're about to take a break. Are we getting close to we got a couple of minutes. So it's very similar to applying for an SBA loan.
Gotcha.
You go through the process, but it's forgivable. It's a big thing is at the end of it, they're going to give you a form and say, how much did you borrow? Fill in that amount, and that amount will be forgiven. So likely you won't have to pay it back. I tell everybody though, you know, look at that like you're going to have to pay it back, and don't take on anything you can't afford. Okay, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and talk more about the CARES Act and how it can help your business and help your family right after this.
Audio Jungle.
Let's put our heads together on a great staycation. Berry Creek Cabins in nearby Bogalusa, Louisiana is your wilderness staycation headquarters. Cozy cabin lodging for 4 to 12 people with modern amenities, kitchens, relaxing porches, fishing, and a 2,700 square foot party deck pavilion. Call 985-730-4395 or berrycreekcabins.com. Berry Creek Cabins is family staycation headquarters.
Okay, we're back, and we're still talking to Connor about the CARES Act and the help that's available to small businesses and families right now. And like I said, Connor, everybody should apply for the Paycheck Protection Loan. If you want to apply, all you have to do is call Sprout. If you're a gig worker, if you're a 1099 person, the Street Team 6 we did, I think everybody from Street Team 6, those were all 1099 people. They should all apply for the CARES Act. Oh. Everybody. There's nothing too small to apply for on that one. There's also, the Economic Impact Development Loan. I forgot what that means. The EIDL is back open. So I was talking to our director of photography about putting in the application for those things, because he's self-employed. He's out there shooting videos, and I just heard he made a music video. I can't wait to see that.
And that's a lot more help than just the $600, because that may be all right for working people, but if I have employees, $600 is going to go quick.
Right.
I won't even be able to pay one employee.
That's, what are you going to do with that $600? I don't know. But everybody should apply for the Paycheck Protection and call Sprout about any other help that's available. It's free. Just call us. We'll tell you. We'll help you get your application in and do all of that. So that's available, and we want to hear from you. But Connor, I need to ask you about the, we're working on this big class coming up.
Absolutely.
If you want to be a trader, we want you to come to the class.
Absolutely.
For nobody, if you've never traded before, that's the people we want to help, right?
Absolutely. And I started working on it a lot, and I've decided that I want to start at the beginning, the basics, and make sure that even experienced traders, there's stuff that you still miss. Like, not everyone knows about the Greeks, and the Greeks are very important. Right. You use the theta for the time and the delta for finding your strike price. And then there's things like open interest. These are simple terms and stuff, but investors and people that do this often, there's just little things that they might miss. So along the way, I'm going to be covering not only the basics, but advanced techniques, so that when we go into these other classes, you'd already be exposed to this knowledge and know what to look for.
Kind of like when in school, when you're going to be introduced to something new, the first thing you get is a vocabulary sheet.
Absolutely.
Go learn those words. So we're going to teach the basic terminology, and then some of the basic things that people need to know to become traders. And I really think we ought to start some sort of at least email list where on Sunday nights maybe we email out some, here's what we're doing this week. Or
exactly.
You introduced me to the Discord, the chat rooms. Yes. Where you can go in and be a part of the trading circle, where you get great tips on what to buy.
And there's this saying that you become the average of the 5 people that you hang around and talk to the most. Well, if you're surrounded by bosses, you're going to be the next boss.
Right. That's exactly right.
So
it's a good tip.
You were telling me about this superhero fun run.
Oh yeah,
so
we're
tell
going
me
to
about that.
We got to switch over to Catherine Sutton. We're going to have to cut this short because we've got Catherine Sutton talking about the virtual superhero 5K fun run. So we're going to switch over to Catherine here in just a second, and she's going to check in from that. I think she's like Supergirl. Is it Supergirl or Superwoman?
Superwoman.
Superwoman. Anyway, so we're about to switch over and have a word from Catherine Sutton. Right. So, all right, we'll be back right after we hear from Catherine, and we're going to be here with Mike Arguelles from the French Hermit Oyster Company. You don't want to miss that.
Hey, it's Catherine coming at you from Gulfport, Mississippi, here today to talk to you about our virtual Superhero 5K that we are doing the entire month of January to support Mississippi Heroes, who is a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to celebrate everyday family caregivers like heroes by giving them a day off of rest and relaxation. So we are super excited about the nonprofit, and we're excited to have this run. You can run the entire month of January. You can walk. You can wear a costume. You can just have a lot of fun. You can do this with your family. We decided to do it in January to kick off 2021 with a little self-care. So if you are not a runner, you can totally just walk it, but there is a great app called Couch to 5K that holds you a little accountable. It helps build up your stamina. It is a great app. I don't know about you, but I've been inside a lot this past year and maybe have gotten a little out of shape. So why not start the new year off with some motivation, helping a good cause, and having a little fun. You do not have to wear a costume, but wear it if you have one. Tag your friends, have a little fun. Again, it's supporting Mississippi Heroes. You can find out all the information on MississippiHeroes.org. Make sure to spell out Mississippi. But come out and have some fun. We'd love for you to join us. Have a great day.
Okay, we're back, and we're here with the founder of the French Hermit Oyster Company. So if you love oysters or you're interested in aquaculture, call your friends, call your neighbors, and tell them to tune in to Sprout Central right now. Mike, here's Mike Arguelles. Mike, welcome to the show. We do the little Sprout Central dab.
Thank you. Good to be here.
You know, we ran a rerun. Last week was a rerun, and that was your daughter on the show. We're having the whole family in here. You guys are all innovators and entrepreneurs, huh?
We are. Madison and Mark, architects.
Yeah, they're the Ocean Springs architects. If you need an architect, they're the ones to go to. Then you started a really interesting business. I've been following it on the social media, the French Hermit Oyster Company. So if you want, you can just search that on Facebook and start following those guys right away. But tell me about that. It's really interesting to me.
Well, our main business is marine construction. So we'll have a barge and a crew, and we build boathouses and bulkheads for residential mostly. So we were kind of in a position when we heard about this new program, the Department of Marine Resources are trying to develop an industry in Mississippi to raise oysters by aquaculture. And we took the class, and we actually had all the resources we needed. We had the right kind of boat already, and the people to work, and we could borrow from the marine construction, so it was a no-brainer to try it.
Right.
Now,
so you found out about the opportunity and kind of looked at your resources and decided, well, we can do this. And then what was the next step? You had to kind of think of the name, do some branding. How did that process go?
Well, the Department of Marine Resources is trying to find serious farmers. And what they did was they set up a class, and they got a professor from the University from Auburn who have a lab about raising oysters, and they were involved. And I told them, I said, I'm not necessarily going to be a serious farmer, but I'd love to learn, take the class. And we did. And once we did take the class, we were eligible to lease an acre or two from the state. And it was all through the marine resources. So they made it easy for individuals to lease an acre. And they even gave us 12,000 oyster seed that we grew. They loaned us the gear, and we didn't have to make an investment before we, got our own lease. Right. So we did that, and we loved it. Every part of it, we just loved it.
I love being on the water. I was telling you before, I used to have a tour boat business, and I just love being out on the water every day. It's a great life. And so then you decided to call it French Hermit Oyster Company, and I know there's a story there. I heard some rumors, but tell us about that. Why do you call it the French Hermit Oyster Company?
Well, I'm originally from Biloxi, and most people my age know about the Hermit of Deer Island.
Right.
And he lived just a little before my time, but he was a legend, and I had him on a postcard, and he lived on Deer Island, and he raised oysters. And he had an oyster company, and so he was kind of famous for that. And we thought, well, here, the Hermit of Deer Island raised oysters on Deer Island. We're raising oysters on Deer Island, so we came up with the French Hermit Oyster Company. And that's how we got the name.
Well, great job on the name. As a marketing business person, that your branding, I was telling you, I want to give you the compliments to you on the branding, because it really caught my attention from the very beginning. And then when I saw what the product looked like, wow, I mean, you have your oysters they're good. The sacks are clean, and they're nice, pretty oysters. How do you do it? They're not sitting on the bottom, right?
No, this is called off-bottom oyster farming, and my wife has done a wonderful job with marketing. And matter of fact, we sell about 6,000, 7,000 oysters a week. Now, I can't harvest that many, so we went to other farmers in the same program, and we have 6 of them that help supply the French Hermit brand. And it's really working out good, because our customers need to know that there are enough there and they could get them.
Right. The worst thing you could do is, open up a business and not have enough supply, right? Okay. The big question is this opportunity available currently for other people? Say if you're sitting at home and you're thinking, I want to do that. Is that something that a person could do?
Well, it's not really for everybody, and there are people that have taken the class that don't really have the resources. They might love the idea of raising oysters, maybe for their own self, but in Mississippi, the only place to do it is at Deer Island. It's on the south side. It's about a 4.5-mile boat trip, so you have to have a boat.
Have to have a boat. You have to have some equipment. We can make them an SBA loan for that. So if you guys are interested and it's something you feel like you're passionate about, well, Sprout can make an SBA loan to somebody to start an aquaculture business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with more with Mike Arguelles from the French Hermit Oyster Company right after this message.
Hey folks, Vic Dehan. I just want to wish everybody a happy new year from all of us at Champion. It's the Start Something New sales event right here at Champion. Brand new Charger for only $25,900. That's only $399 a month. Or a sexy Dodge Challenger for $27,900, $399 a month. Come take advantage of our brand new location, huge selection right here on I-10 and Lorraine College. ChampionValue.com.
Okay, we're back with Mike Arguelles, and Mike, we were talking about the process. How do you raise the oysters? You put them in the cages and seedlings and all that. Tell us some more about that.
Okay, well, we buy our oysters from a hatchery, and real small. They're called seedlings, and we pay about 2.5 cents a piece, and then 9 months later, we can sell it for 70, 80 cents a piece. But there's a lot of steps to getting the product we want. You have to keep them clean. You have to split them as they grow so they're not overcrowded. And then we also tumble them. There's a machine we put them in, and it's a big drum that the oysters, gravity fed through, tumble over on top of each other, and there's holes in this drum. So if they're small ones, fall out, and the bigger ones go all the way through. So it's a way to sort out those fast-growing oysters.
Right.
And we want those out in front ready, isolated, so when it comes harvest time, it's really neat that they do grow in different stages, because now we have so many cages out there. When we first get 50,000, they might fit in one cage in 4 bags. So we go out and we split them, and by the time they're market size, 50,000 would need 150 cages. Wow. So because they grow at different rates, then we can keep the number of gear down that we need. But like I said, we not trying to fill the orders that we have. We have plenty of help with the other farmers.
Right.
And so we're staying kind of small at this point. So we've probably got 170,000 oysters out there right now.
Well, that's really interesting, Mike. And as far as I understand, this is the first time really anybody started doing this type of aquaculture in Mississippi, but it's being done in other places, right?
That's right.
So the oysters, I heard something about, you can now have a selection. Oh, I can have some of if you're at an oyster bar, give me some French Hermit, give me some of the other brands, national brands of select oysters. Is that what you have, a select oyster? I
like to refer to these off-bottom oysters. I've heard the term boutique oyster.
Boutique.
So this is an oyster that is recognized, by those chefs and restaurants that have oyster bars. And our oysters actually go through quality. 3 different distributors pick them up and bring them to 6 different states. So we have our French Hermit brand in restaurants in Nashville and what have you. And like sushi, when you order oysters, you might see a menu and you order 3 from Seattle and 3 from the East Coast, and then say, let me try some of these French Hermit, Deer Island, Mississippi. I don't know where that is, but let's try some of those. And that's the market that we're trying to penetrate.
Well, I heard you're doing a great job of it. In fact, there's several restaurants on the coast and some places where you can buy the French Hermit oysters, not directly from you guys, but where are some of the places you can get a nice French Hermit oyster and give it a try?
Okay, White Pillars.
White Pillars
keeps French Hermit. Vestige in Ocean Springs, and the IP 32 restaurant at the top. They have them on the menu. But our oyster, the one oyster we harvest, we take to Quality Seafood
in Biloxi,
and they keep some for retail, and they can sell them. People could buy them directly from them by the piece.
Okay.
So
I can go pick up a dozen on the way home and give it a try.
That's correct.
Well, I'm going to do that and have you back on the show and tell you how great they were at some point here. So, do you eat a lot? Do you eat a lot of the oysters yourself?
I do. Every time we go out, I'm eating up the profit.
So you're out there on the boat, you pop one open and eat it and just kind of check them. Huh?
Well, when you eat oysters raw, a lot of people like them to be salty. So I have a instrument on the boat called a refractometer. You can take an eyedropper of water and put it on a lens, and you can read the salinity of the water.
Oh, really?
And it's directly proportional. The oyster is going to taste salty if the water's salty. And so we kind of make a note of when they're salty.
Well, that's great to know. I used to be an oyster shucker, and people would complain if they weren't salty. Let me ask you, what's your favorite way to eat oysters?
Well, I like them raw. I think one way that's real popular is, the Oysters Rockefeller. And I've gotten a tray for Christmas that's, it's a metal tray that holds a dozen oysters and designed to go into the broiler and, with some kind of sauce on them. So
delicious. Oysters are delicious. Mike, thank you for being on the show. I want you to come back and just update us on how things are going at French Hermit. We're going to have to wrap it up for today.
All right.
All right, look, next week we're going to have 6-String Andrew, one of the top guitar players on the entire Gulf Coast, a 12-year-old guitar player that's absolutely amazing. It's going to be on the show, so don't miss the next episode of Sprout Central.